Look at a child. When a child is born, the child is really not concerned about anything in life. The child does not have any pressure to behave in a certain way. He or she is fresh, uncorrupted part of nature. But then we give all kinds of training to this child. This child, you are thinking, is a newborn baby. I am saying,
Pranam Gurudev. So in this question, the sadhak is sharing that in my day-to-day life, I have this longing to establish a balance in my inner energies. At this stage of my seeking, I sense that this longing is somehow connected to the integration of Shiva and Shakti within. Then the sadhak is asking, how can Shiva and Shakti be united inside?
So, few angles in this question. You asked about balance, you asked about Shiva Shakti, you asked about how to remain in this celebration of Mahashivratri, which is the day of union of the great Shiva and the eternal Ma Shakti. Look at it very carefully, Maya, today. We feel that we are somehow out of balance, out of sync, disconnected from the eternal Shiva and Shakti element. How do we, the entire effort remains in life, how do we integrate these two energies together, these two beings' presence together within us and outside of us? We make a mistake in this, Maya. If you look at life, today morning when I woke up, I was just on my balcony looking out, the mountains, the snow, the birds, millions of shades of greens and the sunlight coming from the mountain. The sun was just rising up. I see this every day in the morning. And when I see it, I realize that life is actually flowing in a rhythm. There's a music to everything in nature. There's a rhythm, there's a balance in everything in nature. Nothing in nature, if you don't harm it, is out of balance. If you don't interfere, there's a perfect rhythm, balance, music, symphony, and harmony in nature. Every day sun comes at a certain time. Even before the sun comes, birds wake up. They know it's time for sun to arise any moment. They start their day even before the sun is there. Perfect rhythm. Right now in India, the summers are approaching. With the heat of the sun growing on this part of earth, the wheat has grown and is becoming ripe, and this crop of wheat will soon be on our plates. Every year it happens at the same time. There's a perfect harmony. There's a perfect balance out there in nature. Maya, please look at it carefully. This perfect harmony, this perfect balance that you are seeking, the union of Shiva and Shakti that you are seeking, is already there inside you. If the balance and the connection of Shiva and Shakti were not there in this outward nature, then we will not be able to live life the way we are living. We are able to live life, we are able to breathe. This whole nature is flowering just because the perfect balance is there. The day we interfere in this perfect balance of nature, we destroy everything. We put this entire harmony out of balance. So which means, what I'm telling you, this balance and this harmony and this union of Shiva and Shakti is already there inside all of us, provided we don't interfere. Look at a child. When a child is born, the child is really not concerned about anything in life. The child does not have any pressure to behave in a certain way. He or she is fresh, uncorrupted part of nature. But then we give all kinds of training to this child. This child, you are thinking is a newborn baby. I'm saying this child is your mind. When the mind comes fresh into this world, in your body, when you take birth, it's fresh, non-corrupted mind. But slowly we read, we learn, we imbibe so much into our life, we get burdened. The system gets burdened. The way earth is burdened with too many people right now. The system gets burdened. And then this harmony is apparently lost, which is not really lost. It appears in your experience that the harmony, the balance is out. Inwardly, Maya, the balance is always there. Without this union of Shiva and Shakti, you cannot breathe even for a single moment. The balance, the harmony, the rhythm is always there. But it appears so that the balance is out. And why does that happen? Because the constant chatter of the mind. Because the constant desires and aspirations and ambitions that we cultivate. We're not really happy wherever we are. We want to be somewhere else. This entire desire for something else is causing the entire problem. You see, Shiva and Shakti are always together. Ardhanarishwar, the beautiful image of Shiva and Shakti. It's a symbol, it's a message from our beloved God saying that we are always in union. Outside in the world and inside in your being also. But this constant running, churning of the mind makes us believe that we are out of balance, or this constant running of the mind disrupts this balance. At one level it disrupts the balance, but at the deeper level the balance is always there. You follow? There are multiple layers of our existence. At the deeper or the deepest level, the balance is always there and will always be there. At the mental, physical, emotional level, you feel the balance is out because of this constant rush of doing something, of not being settled in what you have, in the way you are, not being settled with that. So how will you regain this balance is the question. This balance between body, mind and emotions that we feel we have lost, which at the deeper level is always there. How do we live in this? How do we recreate that? How do we live in this constant celebration joy of life? Only one formula, Maya, the most easy formula. This joy of life and this balance of being is happening always in this very moment. In this moment, if somehow you park all your thoughts, you park all your emotions, all your cravings and all your desires, I'm saying don't delete them. I'm saying just for this moment, put them aside. All the desires, all the cravings, all the wanting to be something else, all the wanting to go somewhere else, to be somewhere, just park all of that in this moment. And come into this very profound moment. In this moment where life is happening inside you. In this moment where life is throbbing inside you. In this moment where Ananda is already attained inside you. In this moment you don't want to be somewhere else or be somebody else. In this moment you realize that you are Purna, you are complete, nothing is lacking in you. Because in this moment I breathe. With every breath I breathe in life. With every outflow of the breath, I remove all my cravings and desires. With every in-breath, I just settle more deeply in this moment. This moment, Maya, is like a vortex. It's like a portal. Every moment. Because life, you cannot measure in terms of number of years. It's the moment. That is how you measure life. And if you understand what I'm saying, if life is measured by this moment, then life is eternal because this moment is eternal. That's when the great rishis realize that life is eternal. Sanatan hai ye. Life is eternal. Because this moment is eternal. Because it's like a portal. You enter into this portal of this very moment. And the joy, ananda, and the bliss and the union and balance that you seek is already there. So what is disrupting this balance? That is what I need to identify. That is what you need to investigate. What is causing this disease? Let's go to the root of that. And what is causing this disruption, as I said, is the mind which is not in my control. Is the emotions which are not in my control. I am governed by these thoughts and emotions. This churning that never stops here. This is what is disrupting. And we need reinforcements of this understanding. It's just not that once you listen to this and it is established in you. No. You need to, from many ways, you need to reinforce this knowledge, this learning, that the root cause of disruption is the mind which is not in my control. And why mind is not in my control? Because it's always craving. It's always desiring for something. Something material, something non-material, as in emotions. Something non-material as experiences if you are on the spiritual path. On the spiritual path, we are desiring some kinds of greater, profound experiences. But each of this desire takes me away from this moment. And each of this desire then strengthens the mind more and more. It creates a never-ending loop. And the balance then is out. We lose this harmony. Then the entire life we are chasing this harmony. But we don't understand the formula. At one level, we are pouring so much energy in chasing this union of Shiva and Shakti. Chasing this perfect balance and harmony. But on the other side, we're not looking at our aspirations, desires, ambitions, and cravings. We're not realizing that those cravings and desires are actually fueling this disruption. They are both together. One is fueling the other. And as the balance is out, the mind becomes more monkey. The mind becomes more troubled. So it creates a feedback loop. And then we end up being in miserable states. So where did it all started? It all started from the point where the aspirations and the cravings and the desires that are taking root in my mind, I did not pay attention to that. I did not pay attention to that in the sense that when they are trying to take the root, I just cut the root there, saying that no, in this moment, life is perfect. Life is a perfect harmony in this moment. Let me be established here. And when I'm established here, whatever karma action has to happen through me, please understand the words carefully. Whatever actions have to happen through me, I allow those actions to happen. They are family responsibilities. They are some social responsibilities. They are work for building my nation. Whatever work that is given to me, I undertake that. And I realize that this work is happening through me while I am still established in the portal of this moment. You don't then have any individual desires and cravings. You follow? No individual desires and cravings. Now, this could seem like a difficult task to move away from all desires and cravings. But then there's a formula. You start from a simple step. You start experimenting with small things and slowly gain strength of the will, so that then later on you can say no to large or more powerful desires also. For an example, you have desire of taking a coffee every day first thing in the morning, just an example. And then you take 3 cups of coffee throughout the day. Small craving. So you work with this. So from 3 cups of coffee a day, you come back to 2 cups of coffee a day. Then you reduce it to 1 cup of coffee a day. Then you reduce it to, any herbal drink, warm herbal drink a day. It's a progression. But once you start to work on it, you're cutting at the root of the craving. This is a small thing. But slowly, if you are building this, every small win Maya will release some big energy of will in you. With every small win, you will gain some energy, some power of will. Let's say your power of will right now on a scale of 0 to 100 is 10. With every small win, this 10 will become 12, 13, 14. And then a day will come when you will realize that even the most powerful of instinctive desires are not able to touch you. And then whatever happens through you, you just allow it to happen. So, that's the formula. And the other practice that you must do is come back to the moment. In this moment, the balance, the union of Shiva and Shakti, the joyfulness of life exists only in this moment. If you search or chase for the celebration and joyful of life tomorrow, when something happens, when you experience something, then only joy will come. When you attain something, then only joy will come. Then you will miss it. Because your joyfulness does not depend on attaining anything, material or immaterial, emotion or experience. Your joyfulness is non-dependent. Your pleasures are dependent on experiences, anubhava. But your inner ananda, which is joyfulness, which is bliss, is non-dependent thing. It is never dependent on anything. Physical, like in body, mental or emotional, it is just not dependent on anything. Your joyfulness is your choice. And that choice you can only make in this moment. So in this moment, you can choose to be miserable because you've not got what you are wanting to get, and live in this moment as a miserable being. And remember, this is the only moment that you've got. There is no tomorrow that you have. Only this moment. Or you can realize that this is the perfect moment. And then I'm telling you, nature will support you. Then your evolution, if you're able to establish in this moment, your inner evolution will multiply. The strength will start to come off the will. Yeah? So 2 things. Listen to this again and again. Let this be re-established in you. Reinforce this knowledge again and again. And then start to take these small steps. And you will see the bigger desires and aspirations and cravings will also start to disappear. Yeah, that's the formula, Maya. If you work with this, it works for everybody. I hope it helps. Thank you.